PocaTV Wenzzzday. Hi, apologies for being a little late. Facebook was giving me headaches. Never mind. And let me try again, DJ, explaining to the people the immediate disclaimer at the start of every show these days. We are having so much trouble with electricity and Wi-Fi. I had 2 dropouts this morning. So if anything goes wrong, that's just it. The show will have to be postponed. Hi. Please talk.
You've frozen.
No, I'm not frozen.
At my end, you're frozen again.
Okay, you go out and come back in, please.
Right. There you go.
We're starting off really badly. Sorry about that, people. If you can tell by the shininess of my face, it is actually really stressful doing these programs here right now. I used to brag about my Wi-Fi situation being better in Jamaica than it is in the Netherlands. That is no more. Dropouts at every single moment of the day. I think that's what happened at DJ's. And right now, you have this little glitch in your Wi-Fi, which then, kind of freezes up. You're back, DJ. Are you seeing me move?
Yes, you seeing me move, and can you hear me?
Yes, we can. All right. Okay, let's just start the show because you never know when it's going to end, right?
Exactly.
So you and I came up with this lovely idea the other day because I'm looking for subjects to do that are Jamaica related while I'm here. And you said, why not do a series on the national heroes? And I said, yes, why not? So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're going to start this new series of the PocaTV Wenzzzday Ting with the only woman in the group of 7 national heroes here in Jamaica. Her name is Queen NANNY of the Maroons. I'm really looking forward to that. What made you what prompted you to come up with this idea, DJ?
Well, it was originally NANNY, and then that it expanded into why not do all the heroes. But it was NANNY because well, she's just incredible, and you'll find out soon.
You will.
You'll find the story, but and also because you and I both visited the part of Jamaica where she was,
very active. Yes,
very active indeed. Yeah.
All of that will feature in today's program. Before we get into that, I see there's 2 people there in the comment section watching us already. One being Adrienne, my eldest sister. Hello, Adrienne. Enjoying your weekend. I hope you got good temperatures, but not quite like the ones we have here, because really we are in a heat wave to end all heat waves. DJ, how are you? Are you even sleeping, DJ?
Not much. Yeah.
No. Rosalind is here already as well. Good evening, lovely people. She says, nice to have some time again to listen to your interesting topics. Thank you, Ros. Hope you both have been keeping well. Yes, we have. We're fully enjoying life here in Jamaica, except for that excruciating heat. It's like it's worse every day, DJ. I water my flowers 3 times a day now. 3 times a day.
But the other thing is it's very humid as well. So, I think the official temperature where I am is 31, but the feels like is 37. So, and that's what really counts. Yeah.
And for some reason, it's like the sun is hotter. Maybe it has to do with the coronal mass ejection we had last week. The sunstorm, when we had all the aurora borealis and the other one. I don't know.
Be linked to that. Yeah.
It could be linked. Yeah.
Free weather patterns.
Right. Yeah. Here is Yab. Very nice of you, Yab, saying, dear Aldith, that's me. Congratulations on my nomination as best journalist. Oh, thank you, Yap. Now, well, because you're mentioning, I can say it now. I'm on a list, a very, very, very long list of wonderful women. So I'm not going to win, but I'm nominated to be voted Media Woman over 60. Whatever that may be, whatever that may mean, I am nominated for that. And
that's women in the Netherlands, isn't
in the
it?
Netherlands, yes.
Yeah.
With women in the Netherlands over 60, and I'm in the category media women. There's different categories.
Right.
And I think in September, when all the votes are counted, we will know who won. So head over to my LinkedIn, people. You'll find a post there. Just vote for me. Just vote for me. Thank you, Jaap, for reminding us. And what does Adrian say about the heat? Just when it was becoming too hot in the Netherlands, the rains have come back. Well, lucky you.
That's a blessing. Yeah.
It is a blessing. It is a blessing. So, Nanny of the Maroons. That is the national hero, the Jamaican national hero we will be talking about today. Nobody knows what she looked like, but this is...
Hold up. Rewind.
What? Rewind what?
We need to talk about the album, which is what we normally do.
The album. DJ has an album in the background. You take this part of the show while I take a swig of water.
Where my finger's pointing, that's an LP. And you need to figure out who the artist is and what the LP is called. That's the quiz.
Face looks familiar.
It should do. Yeah.
Is it a British Jamaican or a Jamaican Brit?
No, Jamaican.
Okay, so it's not a Steel Pulse related person.
No, it's not. I'll give you one clue. And the clue, he's no longer with us.
Well, that's a clue that will really help with all our heroes dying one by one.
You can rule out all the ones that are with us.
Except I really can't keep track of who's alive and who is no longer with us these days. It's so many of them dying.
He's one of the greats, definitely a legend, and he's no longer with us.
Oh, here comes your friend, and he's right. He says it must be Gregory.
Daniel,
Isaacs.
Trust you. Yeah.
Big up Daniel, but we need the title too. Which one, Daniel?
One?
If you come, and greetings, he says, yes, always say greetings first, Daniel. You know, that's what your mother taught you. But yes, Gregory Isaacs. And if you now then also know the title, there might be a winner for once in this program. And don't Google it, Daniel. Be fair.
No, I think Donna won it once when she did.
She did.
I think
she did.
Bob Andy songbook, I think.
Excuse me, I really need to hydrate.
No, go for it.
That's right. Donna Mattis knew one once, but that wasn't so fast, right? I mean, Daniel comes up with it just like that. Yeah, well, looking forward to your answer.
Daniel's a connoisseur when it comes to roots. Yeah,
I gather he is. So please help me remember, DJ, that kind of halfway through the show, you give us another hint on the album.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So where I was heading is that nobody really knows what Nanny looked like, but this, I believe, is a very beautiful sculpture of her. It's in Emancipation Park in Kingston here in Jamaica, made by the sculptor Basil Watson, a Jamaican sculptor. And what I like about it is she's got this no nonsense look on her face. She's got that extremely long neck. I wish it was mine, extremely long neck. And the way she holds her head to me says, no bother me, because I'm going to get you anyway. And I guess that is illustrative. Is that the right word? Of what Nanny used to be like.
Illustrative.
Nobody can say illustrative. So before we head into what you and I have prepared, DJ, there's a cute little video of a children's program online in which they explain to little children who the national heroes of Jamaica are. And this is the part of the episode about Nanny.
Did you know that under Nanny's leadership, she led a community of runaway slaves called the Windward Maroons to fight a war against British authorities here in Jamaica? That war is now known as the First Maroon War. Did you also know that Nanny was actually from the Ashanti tribe in Ghana, Africa? She was taken to Jamaica on a slave ship on the transatlantic slave trade. It's when she came to Jamaica that she escaped to the mountains to live with other Maroons. She was known for continuing African rituals and traditions and encouraging pride and confidence in her people. Now, here's an interesting fact. Go and take a look at our Jamaican bill. Nanny is the face of our $500 note. To this day, Nanny is the only woman to be bestowed the Order of National Hero, a title given to her on March 31st, 1982. The work of Nanny can still be seen today in Maroon culture and in the preservation of African knowledge in Jamaica. Nanny's legacy is strong. She remains a symbol of resistance and power in Jamaican history.
How cute! How lovely! I saw the face you pulled, and I know what it means. You forgot to get your 500 bill from your wallet.
Yeah.
Let me explain that. I told P. I really nicely asked Adam like 5 days ago, do you still have bills? And he said yes. I said, please have them ready. But we were so busy before the show getting everything to work that he forgot to get his bill. Don't worry, we can show them. So every primary school in Jamaica has painted on the walls the national heroes of Jamaica. I think every country should do that, shouldn't they, DJ?
Well, assuming every country has national heroes.
Yeah.
Official national heroes. Yeah.
Official national heroes. Yes.
I mean, I'm thinking about, does UK even have it? Is there an official? I've never. Thinking about it, it doesn't ring any bells to me.
No idea.
As an example.
Yeah. It should be there, but it's not. Anyway, so this was a lovely little program for children, for small children actually, about who is Nanny. Lovely. We'll be showing more of this series as we go along in our own series. Once again, it doesn't mean we're going to do all the national heroes one after the other. We'll be doing them whenever we feel the vibe, right, DJ? And not everybody gets their own entire show. Some will have to share one of our shows, but you'll see that when the time comes. Back to Nanny. Nanny is an Englishified word. She was actually Nana. Nana in Western Africa means big woman, important woman, priestess, healer, all of those things. So her title was probably Nana, which then changed to Nanny. And the picture on the right is very famous here in Jamaica for the sole reason that it is on that $500 bill. The old $500 bill, I should say, because last year we changed bills, and I really thought it wasn't going to go so fast. So I didn't save one of these beautiful bills, and now I'm not finding them anywhere, ever again. The new bills look like this. It looks like Nanny was demoted because she doesn't have her own bill anymore. She now shares the 500 bill with Sam Sharp, who's actually a national hero from Montego Bay, where DJ and I both live. And this is the new 500 bill that is only better in one way than the other one was. This bill takes into account people with visual impairments. It has those little feely things, so blind people and people with poor eyesight actually know what bill they have in their hand.
And for anyone thinking that a $500 bill may amount to a lot of money,
let's do the math.
it's about €3, I think.
€3 exactly, because a thousand Jamaican dollar is €6 at the moment and has been for a good while. So 500 is about €3. And what do you think of the new bill, DJ?
I think it's I can't complain. I don't have a problem with it.
Why? Because it pays for your bread.
Because it what?
Because it pays for your bread.
No. You're talking about the design, aren't you?
Yeah, compared to the old one.
I prefer the old one because because it stands out more, because it's exclusively for Nanny.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I wonder if Sam Sharp was on the other side of that 500 bill. I can't
No, you
remember.
look here. You can see the backside.
Oh yes, of
Y-
course. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So
No. No, Sam
yeah,
Sharp
so
used to have the $50 bill.
okay, okay,
That was Sam Sharp. He had the $50 bill,
right.
which is really worth absolutely nothing. Anyway,
Isn't that where Garvey is now? Garvey's
no,
on the.
no, Garvey. I don't know where Garvey is now. I don't know. We'll get to Garvey when we get to Garvey, DJ.
Anyway,
Let's not overcomplicate things.
anyway, the good thing about the new money is actually the material, but that's another they use,
Yeah.
but that's another
If you
story.
wash it, it will not perish.
Exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's more durable. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
Mm.
not so pretty. It's for some reason it looks like every other money. It doesn't look, like Jamaican money anymore.
I know it's
I'm
the
just
way of the
homesick
world.
for the old days here in Jamaica.
Look.
Anything I ever say will prove that.
Yeah, look. What happened was they had the old money, and you saw an example of the old $500 bill.
Mm.
And it was all, the new money was all about changing the material because it's more durable, and they used the opportunity to also update the design as well, not just the material. That, I think that's how it happened.
All right,
So
all right. They could have spent their money better. They could have spent their money fixing the electricity and the Wi-Fi in this country. Whatever. Never
rather,
mind. Never
they
mind.
could have,
Never mind.
yeah, okay, good, yeah.
Back to Nanny.
Mm.
We heard in the little video that she was of the Ashanti tribe, we could say, but it was actually an empire. The Ashanti, the region that the Ashanti ruled in the days before colonization of Africa was so huge, and they had money to spend. They had, it was a very, very important and wealthy tribe, and full of warriors. It was a tribe of warriors, and as we heard in the video, Nanny was either a queen in the Ashanti Empire, or she was a chieftain, or she was some kind of leader. All we know from the name Nana is that she definitely was, like a healer. She knew about plants and about all kinds of ways to heal your wounds and your whatever. So that's where Nanny came from. This all being in Ghana, which is on the west coast of the continent of Africa. She was born approximately, nobody knows for sure, 1685. And she wasn't a child. She was already at least a teenager when she was taken and shipped over on the transatlantic route, all
Slave
across
ship,
on a
transatlantic
slave ship.
slave ship.
Yes, and went all the way to that tiny little orange speck you see in the orange circle, that being Jamaica, and that's how Jamaica got to have Nanny of the Maroons. Maroons. Maybe we should
Yeah,
shortly
I
clarify.
was about to elaborate on. People might be thinking, where does the word maroons come from? Why?
Mhm.
And it's about these people, the slaves, when they escaped slavery and fled to the mountains.
Mhm.
They became known as maroons, and it comes derived from the word being marooned, because they have no way to get back to their original home, which was Africa. That's
Yeah.
the origins of why.
Well, the marooned bit is not what most people say. Most people say it's from the Spanish word cimarrones, which actually means cattle, showing once again how people were worth as much as cattle in those days.
They were treated like cattle.
Yes. And there were already Spanish maroons in Jamaica when the Brits came, because many people might don't know, but Jamaica traded hands from between Spain and England many times before it finally stayed in English hands.
And Latin America as well, because they're maroons in South America and Central America as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So
It's not
everywhere where European slave masters wreaked havoc, you will find maroons. You will find those enslaved people who said, "Nah, me not go a slave. Me not go work for you. I am getting out of here. I am moving to the hills. I'm moving to the jungle. I'm running
Yeah.
away and I'm going to ambush you the rest of your life, because that's what they did. They ambushed the colonizers.
Yeah.
So Nanny came to be known as one of the windward Maroons. Why is that? When she ran away into the mountains of Jamaica, she went eastwards, where the world famous Blue Mountains and the John Crow Mountains are, which are actually really high. And she went east of those mountains, which is where all the trade winds come in. That's why it's called windward. On the other side of the mountains, you will find the leeward Maroons, because there's no wind coming in from the trade winds there because of the mountains stopping the wind. This is why we talk about the windward Maroons and the leeward Maroons. And Nanny of the Maroons was one of the windward, because on your map, looking at your screen, she was to the right of those mountains where the trade winds come in. What did she find, DJ? You and I know she found what we now call an area of outstanding natural beauty. The Blue Mountains, the John Crow Mountains, the whole of Portland and St. Thomas. It's just fabulously beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, but when she was there, I don't think it was the beauty that she was concerned with.
So how do you think that worked in her head? She chose a tough place, far away from the colonizers, on the other side of those mountains. What does that tell you about Nanny?
Well, it tells you that she's got a plan, and she's planning something, because it's not just about, with her, it wasn't just about fleeing slavery. It was about doing something about it.
Exactly. So she went into those mountains, the highest peak of those mountains being more than 2,000 meters, which is more than 7,000 feet high. It's absolutely gorgeous down there. And as DJ was saying just now, Nanny had a plan. And the plan was not to sit back and relax. The plan was to wage war against the colonizers. She was a tough cookie, leading us to believe that maybe when she was still with the Ashanti in Africa, she might have been one of the leaders there, because she knew about warfare. What is it you know about her and the colonizers in those days, DJ?
Well, the long and short of it is, she through her military strategy and tactics outwitted the British who were there. The British tried to but with her and all the others that fled slavery, the slave owners and the colonial British, they all of a sudden had a problem, because lots of slaves were leaving them, and in order for them to try and get them back and find them, it was a huge pressure on their time and resources.
And remember the fact that those Maroons, they knew about tropical jungle and they knew about mountains. What did those Brits know?
It was like a natural habitat to them, because I'm sure in parts of Africa you have similar terrain, where they were from in Ghana. So it probably was second nature to them. It was much more natural to them than it would be for the British. That's for sure. Yeah. And so they came up with, when I say they, Queen Nanny and the other Maroons came up with all these innovative ideas to thwart. I think that's the word, to thwart the British in their attempts to further exploit slavery. And they fought them, and the British just lost, through
time and time again.
And then it got to a point where you probably want to take the story to the next part.
I do, because what I want to explain, one thing she did was do absolute guerrilla warfare. Like we were saying, she knew about jungles, she knew about mountains, she knew about the snakes, scorpions, and every other beastie you can find in this kind of country. And that didn't stop her. What she did was tell her troops, the people joining her there in those mountains, dress up in leaves and twigs and hide.
Camouflage. That was key.
And camouflage yourself. Camouflage yourself. Look closely at the picture on the left. That is actually a person, but you need to really see it. And there's one record available. I haven't found it, but I know it's there, of one British lieutenant, I think he was, or somebody in the army, who wrote home saying, he of course he could not say we were ambushed by those three-fifths people from Africa, and they won, and they killed our people. What he wrote in his letter back, reporting back to the King of England at the time, is the bushes came to life and attacked us. The bushes had machetes in their hand. The trees had something, and it's like a miracle place there. And don't send your family to don't send your family to Jamaica.
Try to make it look like that it's some sort of witchcraft or something like that.
Exactly, which was always a way of proving yet again that these black people from Africa were really not really people. They were just deviants.
No, exactly. You know, they're cattle. They're still cattle.
They're cattle. Yes, they were 3/5 of a human being, and it was the church. It was the church who said that. And because the church said, you know what, we're going to count them as 3/5 of people, that was the reason why slavery even took on the form it did. It kind of cleaned the conscience of many of the people making money off this trade by saying, look here, they're pigs, they're half people, they're whatever, that they don't really count. They are there to work for us.
Basically, it's dehumanization.
That's what they did. And I won't go into how that still happens today, because, for 400 years of history, you cannot just erase. But that's exactly what happened. So here was Nanny in the mountains in the Blue Mountains, ambushing those Brits time and time again. Imagine those Brits wearing their 17 layers of clothing, trudging up that mountain, being snagged by thorns, being bitten by all kinds of creepy crawlies that they didn't know, getting cholera, getting all kinds of diseases that they'd never heard of. They were dropping dead like flies. Which you must forgive the smirk on my face. It's if it were a movie, we'd be cheering as well, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah, no, exactly. We've all seen what's that famous movie with Michael Caine, Zulu? You know, the Zulu movie.
I haven't seen Zulu,
You haven't seen Zulu, the original? No. Oh, you need to see it. That's classic. It's classic.
Right. I'm sure you will make sure that I get to see it. But many, even the cowboys and Indian films that we grew up on, you and I, it was all about the Indians being beasts and the white people being so noble.
Exactly. The Indians are always the bad guys for some reason. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Let's forget it was their land. No.
Anyway. I know, but when I was watching that as kids, I didn't know the history at all.
No, and you were always on the side of the others, I suppose.
Well, of course, because I didn't know any different.
You were being told that they were the bad guys, so you believed it.
That's how Hollywood portrayed it.
That's exactly how it went. And we all fell for it, but we know better now. So here are the Brits suffering one loss after the other, and it really became too much for them to handle. It was costing money, it was costing people, it was costing a lot of time. And they tried and tried and tried to get some treaty going. And of course, they did not go to Nanny for that. They went to one of the other Maroon people. What?
Well, they were trying for a truce, and the treaty happened as a result of the...
Yes. Well, the point I was trying to make is they did not talk to Nanny because she was a lowly woman. They talked to mostly one of the other 4 Maroon leaders at the time in Jamaica. I'll put them up for you. We had Akompong, we had Kwao, who was also windward. He was on the same side of those mountains as Nanny was, but in a different camp. Kofi, I'm not quite sure where he was. I believe he was in the Blue Mountains themselves. Akompong and Kojo, who was the main Maroon that the Brits wanted to talk with. Akompong and Kojo were both what we call in the cockpit country now, which is almost our side of the island and then going southwards. Kojo was the big man, not in size. He was actually quite small, and he had a hump on his back, and they described him as being a bit thick and a bit, stodgy. But Kojo was the one that they talked with most. And interestingly, nobody ever asked Nanny what she thought of anything. So they tried and tried and tried to talk to Kojo about a truce, like you were saying, DJ. And he kept on saying, no, I don't want to talk to you. But then in the end, and this is the year 1738, he decided to make friends with a planter who was also a colonel in the British Army, John Guthrie. By that time, Kojo himself was also called colonel. So here's the two colonels meeting. You can see how. What does this drawing tell you, DJ? Let me just shut up and let you talk.
You said that he made friends with him. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, because why would you make friends with your number one enemy on both sides? It makes no sense to me. You get acquainted with them because you both presumably have a common goal, which is, in this case, a truce, and what's going to happen in the future, which will be governed by a treaty.
Exactly.
But what that drawing says to me is that Guthrie, who's on the left, presumably that's supposed to be Guthrie, is holding out. He's either holding out his arm to saying, shake my hand or agree with me, or it's an expression saying, oh, come on, I don't agree with what you're saying, or something like that. I don't know. It could be many things, because you look at the expression of Kojo, who's the guy in the middle, the shorter guy. That's who he is.
Yeah.
He looks pretty. I mean, just look at his eye and the way he's holding his weapon. Is that a gun? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a gun. Yeah.
Yeah. He looks pretty serious and pretty militant. The expression, that's what it's showing to me. Whereas the other guy is the other guy, the Guthrie, trying to say, I'm trying to offer you an olive branch here. I don't know. I'm just
presumably. Yeah. But what it also tells me, if you look at Guthrie, look how tall and straight he stands, and look how they uglified Kojo in this picture. He almost looks like Quasimodo. Everything is out of proportion. Yet again, proving, yes, Guthrie will be talking to this being, but we can't really say that's a human. That's what the picture tells me as well. Maybe I'm just too sensitive about these things. But
well, you said he was short, so that's a short in height. So that,
according to the records, right? I mean,
right.
They said the weirdest things about people in those days.
Right, but someone's height that's not dehumanizing them. It's just their height.
But that record also said he was thick and he was this and he was that, and
right. Well, that's then that is wrong. That's different.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is just me philosophizing about it. But this meeting in 1738 then led to the first Maroon Treaty, which was signed in, I believe it was January of 1739. Kojo signed it, and so did the Brits. That is what we know for sure. I have to say
6th of January, because that's when it's that's when it's celebrated. That's
when it's celebrated. Exactly. Yeah. Big up yourself. I hadn't even thought of that. You're right. It's 6th of January of 1739 is when the treaty was signed. What did the treaty say? Well, it said a whole lot of stuff, but these are 4 main points. Good for the Maroons was they got 1,500 acres of land in which they would be autonomous, in which they were the boss. I'll get to that. The safety of Kojo and his people was, what's the word?
Paramount?
No, not paramount. It was promised. It was, what's the word?
Okay, it was, they made a commitment to protect them. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Kojo and his people could not be attacked. But then here comes a weird one. The Maroons had to clear the roads between the different Maroon settlements. So here you have Maroons saying, I'm not going to work for slave master, yet they are working for slave master. cutting down those roads. Yes, Adrienne says guaranteed. That's the word I was looking for, guaranteed. The safety
All
of
right,
Kodjo and
okay,
his people was guaranteed. Thank you, Adrienne.
okay.
Maroons were clearing the roads. That was part of the treaty. And also, yes, they got those 1,500 acres, but 2 white men were to be in every settlement of Maroons to keep the peace, to make sure everything was going according to what the Brits wanted to happen in those communities. So that's a treaty I probably would not have signed. Would you have signed it?
Well, I think the first number one item on that list, the 1,500 acres of land and the self-autonomy, is a huge reason, is a huge benefit, for want of a better description, compared to how it was at the time.
Yet, because that autonomy still stands, you know. If the
Well,
Maroons
yes,
want to,
but
let me explain. If the Maroons want to talk to anybody in Parliament here, they have to talk through the English Crown, because that's where their alliance is. They don't talk directly to the minister.
I mean, there's a lot of it's controversial in Jamaica,
Yes,
because
and there's a lot of mining going on exactly in that cockpit country, which the Maroons say, no, this is our piece of Jamaica. You cannot come here. And then there's always a reason why they can come there.
Well, the key thing is one. I think one of the things that the Maroons of today and probably then claim is that it's sovereign land. It's that word sovereign that's really, it's very controversial. A lot of people dispute that, especially the Jamaican politicians, a lot of them, because sovereignty, it almost says you are a separate state, even.
But that is what autonomy is.
Well, yes, but
autonomy is.
You need
cannot
to look
say,
at the,
you cannot put in a treaty and say we're going to let you be autonomous, and then we say, but we need 2 white people with you just to check on you, and we're still going to mine your lands, and we're still going to do whatever it is we please. That's not autonomy.
I would need to read that treaty verbatim to understand what it actually implies and says. But so
to this day, it's contentious. To this day, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Here's an example. I was one of those autonomous clauses, if you like, was about that they don't have to participate in paying towards Jamaican government taxes, for example.
They don't. That's right.
However, if they drive a car, they do have to, because there are certain rules about that. So it's not necessarily, and when they pay for gas, that at a gas station, that gas includes GCT or VAT, as most people in
yes.
So they are still paying taxes, albeit indirectly, but they are still paying. So that kind of suggests, well, how sovereign are they really? It depends on where you draw the line, and you know, it's a tricky, it's it's complicated. It's
complicated, but it does go to show how everything connects to each other, and how very long the repercussions of those 400 years linger on, because we're still finding today that people are set one against the other. You know, there's a lot of Jamaicans who are angry with the Maroons because they signed a treaty and they said, you know what, you kind of fell for the Bakra Massa's trap, and all you were thinking of is I'll have a piece of land, and you weren't thinking. That's what people are saying in Jamaica.
Well, I guess one way to look at it, if they hadn't signed that treaty, would they be better off today than they are now? I don't know.
The only way they would be better off if they hadn't been shipped over from Africa in the first place.
Well, yeah, but that you can't rewrite history. You know that you can't. That's yeah.
So how come rewriting history can happen when it comes to mining in the cockpit country? Suddenly the treaty is no longer the treaty. You explain that to me, DJ Conscious.
That's a global thing, isn't it? People are always rewriting history to suit their narratives on all kinds of topics. So, you know, there's nothing novel about that. But, yeah.
Point being, this whole treaty, like I said, it's still thundering on today, because as we speak today, there's a lot of things going on. Many Jamaicans, they asked for apologies from the Maroons. They actually got an apology from Maroons. I think it was 1 or 2 years ago. And then there were people saying, yeah, but Nanny was a Maroon. How come she's on? How come she's a national hero? How come she's on our $500 bill? The question is,
Yeah.
did Nanny co-sign the treaty? We have no proof of that. In fact, there are stories that say that Nanny went on foot from where she was in the Blue Mountains. And it took her months to travel to Kodjo to tell him, don't sign that treaty. By the time she got there, he'd signed the treaty. So she walked back months and months all over those mountains, those 2,000 meter high things, and went to look for Quao, who was the other Maroon leader in her part of the country. And by the time she got to him, which was in 1740, all of this took a whole year, he had signed the treaty. But there is no proof that Nanny actually did. What were you wanting to say?
Where is the treaty now?
I don't know who has the treaty. I suppose the Maroons have a copy. And maybe there's a copy in England in the archives.
So inspect the treaty to look at the signatures. I don't know. It's just, you know.
Well, from what I've been finding, all we know for sure is that Kodjo signed it. We don't know that Quao, yes, and Kodjo and Quao signed it. Not at the same time. Kodjo signed it in 39. Okay. And Quao signed it in 40.
So we know that. Therefore, that suggests that we kind of know that Nanny didn't sign it.
Yeah. So,
if she didn't sign it, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean she didn't agree with it, because she could have still been in Portland and the treaty was signed in Accompon, which is St. Elizabeth. So for logistical, I mean, there could have been a whole array of reasons. It doesn't mean she didn't agree with it, but the chances are, I don't know. Maybe Kodjo signed it thinking that Nanny would agree with it. But I don't know. I don't know.
We don't. All we do know is that to this day, the different Maroon communities in Jamaica, yes, they work together, but there's also, let's call it a healthy competition. That's a euphemism, really. They're often at each other's throats for details. For, you know, how do I see this? How do I interpret that? And it's too complicated. I really try to follow that, but it's very complicated. Who says what and what they actually want. That's what we know about the Maroons still here today. So that too is a repercussion of those 400 years of divide and rule. You know, you play one against the other, and before you know it, hundreds of years later, they're still fighting over a bone.
Yeah,
I have no rights to do that, but I'm still going to do it. I'm going to say, from what we know about Nanny, and that we also know that she did that march to and fro, I'm going to say she did not sign it and she was against it. And what we also know is that the fact that Quao signed it meant that she separated herself, her community, from his. So she moved to another place in the mountains there. And that to me says enough. That to me says Nanny was in nowhere near ready to sign any treaty.
Okay, she wanted a better deal.
She wanted a better deal, or maybe no deal at all. Maybe she just wanted to go along, keep on, you know, cutting people's throats and ambushing them.
But that's interesting, because if that's true, then it goes back to what you said. Why is she a national hero and not
the others?
Yeah.
We will remain asking questions on this topic, but what we did do to learn more, you and I, we took a trip together in 2017, and we went to the area where Queen Nanny used to be and where she used to lead her people in guerrilla warfare against the Brits. So this is, I had short hair at the time, and I wasn't feeling so really well that day, I remember. So this is probably the only picture that you're going to see of me. But we do see DJ with a couple of Maroon people who are, from what they say, they are descendants straight from Nanny. They are the Maroons from Moortown. It's a long story to say how Nanny Town got destroyed and then started again and is now Moortown. We're not going to go into that.
Oh, all right. Because I was just going to say that Moortown was named after Henry Moore. But
that makes it even more complicated.
A lot of people in Jamaica are saying it should be renamed back to Nanny Town.
Yeah, it should be. Do you by any chance remember the name of our guide that day from
No,
Moortown? Oh, I
no,
was hoping you did.
no.
I don't remember either. And I know I'm following him on Twitter, but I can't find him. So if you're watching, send us a comment. Tell us your name again.
By the way, you completely frozen, and I can't see me moving either.
I'm not seeing you moving, so I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to ask you
But I
yet
can
again.
hear.
Okay, please go out and come back again, DJ. That's the only
All
way. I'm
right.
going to remove you. Okay. Oh Lord, people, this is such a hassle. It's such a hassle. And it's just a little blip. It can be just a little hiccup in the Wi-Fi that freezes this thing. If anybody watching, let me know if I'm still moving and if you can hear me. And the sooner I know that, the better. Daniel, you know the drill. Let me know quick if I'm still moving around, because if I'm not, there's no point in continuing this program. So let me wait for anybody to react to that. Adrienne or Daniel, let me know if I'm still moving and if you can hear me. They're not letting me know. I'm assuming we're still
Hi.
there. Hi, DJ is back. I was just asking. Yes, Adrienne is letting me know that I'm still moving. And that means that everything went on the way I was hoping. Thank you, Adrienne. So DJ
Thanks,
is back
Adrienne.
for as long as it takes. This is where we were, DJ. I was showing how trudging up that mountain. And look at the path on the right picture. That's the picture you took. It's not a path. We walking through the bush, which is exactly what the Maroons did in those days. And the Brits as well. There are no paths there. It's just a little, you don't know what kind of rabbit can walk there. And we needed machete and all kinds of stuff to get through there. And we were heading towards Nanny Falls.
Yeah.
Beautiful waterfall.
But before we actually reached the falls, I remember to get to the falls during that walk, the pictures that you just showed, you could have like 3 or 4 people walking beside each other without much problem. But as you got closer to the falls, you were literally walking on ledges, which were maybe 7 inches wide. That's it.
Exactly.
And you've got to be careful because it's a big gully and a big drop, and basically you die if you fell off, basically, no question. So it was quite
a hike. And remember, I was saying I wasn't feeling very well in those days. I was walking with a walking stick, but that's the day that I really felt old, because every step I took, one of those maroon guys actually had to hold my hand, and anyway.
Oh no, even me at one point, he grabbed me. He didn't want to take a chance because I said I was fine. I was walking on this ledge, but he wasn't going to take a chance. Yeah, man. He made sure that I didn't fall.
Exactly. So that's when we reached Nanny Falls. Beautiful place. And you see me on the left picture. I stayed up, but DJ went all the way in the water. Talk to us about the water, DJ. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. I finally made it into the heavenly falls. Yeah, absolutely heavenly. Yeah.
Did you feel at all what I often have when I go to these places in Jamaica? Did you feel totally cleansed after you got into that water?
Man. I mean, even before I hit the water, as we were going, because obviously everything was uphill, and the air quality changed, but it was actually quite invigorating, I found, because as you ascend up a mountain, the air quality tends to reduce.
Yeah, you get less oxygen up there. Yes,
exactly. But I think something to do with, because of the falls and the water, it kind of blends in with that kind of atmosphere, if you like, of less oxygen, which kind of makes you forget about it, because about the reduced oxygen.
So you were kind of high, actually.
Yeah, it was like
on
a buzz.
A high. Yeah,
it was like a buzz, definitely. It was. I think you used the word cleansing. It was a cleansing, a spiritual as well.
Was the water cold? Because the water can get so damn cold here.
I don't remember it being cold. I think it was quite a hot day. Well, you can tell by the sun and the shadow. It was a hot day.
Yeah, so we were happy to.
I don't remember it being uncomfortably cold. It was just very pleasant. It was warm. I remember it being warm.
Yeah,
it was lovely.
Lovely. So we spent quite a good amount of time there. You splashing away. Poca, take another picture of me. Poca, I'm Tarzan. Poca, I'm look at me swim. Poca, look at me dive. And
yeah.
And it was lots of fun. And then we headed back down, and the Maroons took us to the area where they live now. But before we got there, they took us to Bump Grave. Bump Grave is where Nanny of the Maroons is buried. She died. The accounts of that really vary from 1735 to 1770. Even the Jamaican National Heritage Trust does not know and say it was somewhere between 1760 and 1770 that she died. We don't know. But this is the monument in her honor. And, well, I just had to touch it. Look what it says. It says, Nanny of the Maroons, National Hero of Jamaica. Beneath this place, known as Bump Grave, lies the body of Nanny, indomitable and skilled chieftainess of the Windward Maroons, who founded this town. I really felt it when I was standing there touching that monument. On the right, on the right is a plaque by the Jamaican National Heritage Trust, saying, you know, the stuff basically that we've been saying so far, how she outsmarted the Brits at every turn, and how she became a national hero in 1975. That was according to the trust.
Oh yeah, 1970. Yeah,
yes, the little videos told us 1982, but I don't know who to go by. Who would you go by?
Well, who's it? Who did this? The Jamaican National Heritage
Trust. We got to give them that credit, right?
I guess so. That's probably more accurate.
And it doesn't really matter. It's very long after she died, and it's been quite a good while. Yeah. We hung around, if you remember correctly, we hung around that monument for a good while, and I started kidding around with the children coming home from school. I just love these two pictures. Look at the little girls with their umbrella, all trying to share their umbrella against the sun.
Yeah, so that proves it was a hot day.
Aren't they all these days? But what struck me is, of course, I asked those children. I'm a journalist. I used to be a journalist for children's news. I asked those children, what do you know about Nanny? And they didn't know anything.
Really? I don't remember that bit.
Yeah, that I thought was, I mean, it's actually their Nanny. It's their town. It's their piece of the world. And or maybe they were shy. Jamaican school children are quite shy. Especially when a foreigner woman like me comes and goes, hey, children, how you doing? And tell me about Nanny. Maybe they just froze. Maybe that was it. Maybe they know full well who Nanny was.
I'm sure they know. I'm sure they're taught that from if anything, from their families, not just school.
Yeah. Maybe they were just afraid to talk to me, which I can totally imagine.
Because the Maroons are very proud people, aren't they?
They are now. But before we get into that, remind me the word proud. Let's do the album.
Okay. Okay. There's the album. Now, if you were here earlier, Daniel correctly guessed the artist's name. But
Daniel said it's Gregory Isaacs LP, but he did not tell us the title.
Which is 10 out of 10 for that. But what's the title?
So that's actually 5 out of 10, isn't it? If we don't have the title.
Yeah, all right. 5 out of 10. Yeah.
So who knows this? Who knows which album it is? Daniel, are you looking at it closely? Have you maybe snuck off to Google when I told you not to and looked it up? I wonder if you have the complete answer. Do you have what's the other tip that you were going to give us, DJ?
I was going to give you another one.
Another hint, yeah.
No, I said he's no longer with us. That's the first one. No, I didn't have another one. No, I can think of one, but no one would understand it. So no.
Maybe Daniel would. I think Daniel has this mind like you have as well when it comes to roots reggae.
As I say, he's a roots connoisseur. So he's probably got it. He's probably got
Yeah,
it.
he's probably not hearing us now because he's in his room with all his records going, where's that Gregory Isaacs
Yeah,
album?
but as you said, it'd be easy. You could Google it, and it'd be easier to do it that way. But
So no
so
other
shall I
hints?
reveal now? Shall I
No.
reveal it now?
You want to reveal it now? You could. Yeah. No. Yeah, do it now. Let's just get it over with because nobody knows. You do it now.
All right.
Which Gregory Isaacs album is it? Yes, we can see. What does it say? Soon Forward. Oh,
Soon Forward.
Hold it up a bit so we can see the picture. Wow, that's a good picture.
It's actually a
Hold it
very
up.
grainy picture. It's
Hold it
very
up.
grainy.
Hold it up, DJ, so we can see his face. No, we're not seeing his face. Upwards. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Well, it wasn't his younger days, for sure.
There's the other side.
And can you name one or two tracks on it that we should know?
Yeah. Universal Tribulation, Mr.
Yeah.
Brown, which is Slave Market, Black Liberation Struggle, Jar Music, Soon Forward. Nearly every tune's a winner on that one, as they always were.
What do you say? No fillers, just killers? Yeah. Is that
No
you always
fillers,
say?
just fillers. Yeah.
So, well, what shall we do about Daniel being only halfway correct?
Well, he
Shall
only
we-
gets half.
He gets half
kudos.
points. Yes, half kudos.
half.
All right, Daniel, still big up yourself that you even knew.
Yeah. You took part, and that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to just because that day that we were with the Maroons there in Moortown, they took us to their village, and in proper Maroon tradition, they sounded the abeng. The abeng is like a trumpet, a horn made from cow's horn, and it makes a sound. And they did that in NANNY days to convey messages to each other across those mountains. Watch out, massa coming, or it's safe to walk there, or somebody coming we don't know, somebody go check who's coming up the mountain. They use that sound to communicate in those mountains.
And I remember referencing at the time, that's almost the same as the shofar, which is a ram's horn that's used in Judaism when they blow in religious kind of festivals and things.
I guess many peoples do this, and I'm pretty sure that sounding a cow horn, that it happened in Africa as well, where these people all came from.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you and give you a little vibe on what it is like to hear the abeng being sounded for your welcoming, and also how what a Maroon festivity can look like. For that, it's not in this area because I did not film that day because, as I was saying, I wasn't feeling too well. But last year I went on a little trip to another Maroon community called Charlestown, also windward, and it's a little too commercial to my taste, but at least you get an idea of what it is like when you arrive in one of those villages and you are greeted by the abeng and by people dancing. Here we go. Idea.
What a lovely welcome. And that reminds me of when we went to Accompong, which was
Yes.
covered earlier, which is every 6th of January, they have the festival which commemorates the
The
signing of the treaty.
treaty. Mm-hmm.
All the Maroons of Jamaica basically gather. So from Moortown, they hire buses and they
Yeah.
drive them out from Moortown to go to Accompong, because it's another part of the island. And
Yes.
it's a festival with all that traditional music and dancing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the wonderful thing to me, I was born in a country where there are Maroons, Suriname in South America. It's exactly the same there. And in
Right.
fact, the people who still speak the original languages, they can talk with each other no matter where they are from. You have people from the jungle in Suriname who can talk to people in Ghana, and who can talk to the elders of the Maroons here in Jamaica, because they are from the same tribes in Africa. They come from the same place, and they've held those traditions. They kept them going. So the music, the abeng, the language, the food, the dancing, it's all similar. That's something that warms my heart. Can you
Right.
imagine that?
Yeah, I can actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine it warming the heart, definitely.
Because you then see, first of all, you see, yes, that's where we came from. And you start asking yourself, is that person I'm seeing in at the festival you're mentioning, is that my cousin? He probably is. He probably is. Anyway, so that was the welcome. They gave us a welcome a little smaller than that, but they did show us around how they rebuilt part of their village in how it used to look in the old nanny days. How did that strike you? How was it for you to actually walk there? Because we're seeing you there on the picture.
Well,
How
yeah,
was it for you to walk there and feel
yeah,
that vibe?
that was real kind of it's like authentic history, even though because to see something like that in Jamaica, interestingly, in the Jamaica colors, at least the green and
Yes, the
and,
green and
and the gold.
the yellow. Yeah, we're not seeing
Yeah,
the black though. Yeah, yeah. And before anybody starts saying all those black people still live in shacks, no, they don't. Right?
No.
This is just a part of the village that they rebuilt right next to their stone houses with hot water and television. They put this up.
Yeah, this was symbolic of their African roots as well.
Yeah, this was just to show.
That's how I saw it. Yeah,
yeah. This is how it must have looked in those days, is what they were saying. And
yeah.
What I remember of that day, DJ, it was your first taste ever in life of real cocoa.
Oh yes,
fruit.
of course. Yes.
Let me quickly take our viewers through cocoa. Cocoa, of course, being one of the products that the colonizers were here for in the first place. They came for sugar, they came for coffee, they came for tobacco, and they came for cocoa. So you can see how a cocoa fruit grows on the tree, which is almost miraculous. And then you see the inside of the fruit. Do you remember the taste? I can just taste it in my mouth right now. Do you remember how it tasted to you?
You know what? I don't.
Oh,
I don't remember.
Did it make any impact on you or any?
Well, no.
Impression?
I seem to remember. Could it have been bitter? I'm not sure.
No, it was. Well, what happened? Oh, now you're making me tell this. You actually took one of those little white pieces and you put it in your mouth and you bit right through it. No tropical child would ever do that. We would know to suck the whiteness of the seed, right. And then
that's
but you bit right through it,
bitter.
And that is bitter. I mean, you know how bitter chocolate can be.
Well, there you go. I'm a what's the word? Philistine. Okay.
Yes, you are. I wasn't going to say this, but when you said bitter, I just had to. So you need to suck on the whiteness, get the whiteness off, and it's actually very refreshing and a little sweet, a little sour, and really lovely. And what you then keep is what you see top right is the seed of the cocoa fruit, and those seeds are then roasted, which you see on the bottom right. And after roasting, they get blended and made into powder, and that is the cocoa that we put in our hot drinks, and from which we make chocolate. It's interesting to know that the Europeans have not only come here for cocoa, they also went, of course, to Africa to do the same. And years later, like let's say 10 years ago, I saw this documentary of little African children in West Africa who were tasting chocolate for the first time in their lives. So here are Europeans, they come to your part of the world, they take your cocoa plants away, they make all kind of chocolate with it, and they return with Swiss chocolate for the little children to taste. That is such a crazy story.
Yeah, and presumably cocoa was always native to Jamaica. It wasn't like ackee that they brought it with, that it was brought with them from Africa. Cocoa was already here.
Yap has to leave us. Thank you for watching, Yap. And you know, you can always watch the end of the program when you get back from your night shift. You just pick it up where you left off. It will be online. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know later. And sleep. Yeah, no, he's going to go to, that's what he means. His night shift is to sleep. I don't think Yap actually goes out to work at this time of day. Yap, at one point you must illuminate me on this.
No, he's telling us to sleep well, but probably forgetting that it's afternoon here.
It's only 3 in the afternoon here, but sleep well, Yap, and thank you yet again for watching. Right. Adrian is telling him have a good shift. Yes, I think he's going to sleep, Adrian. But can you blame him? Not really. It's what time is it? It's after 10 in Holland. Yeah, what were you saying about the cocoa?
About whether cocoa was originally native to Jamaica, or whether it was carried over from Africa like ackee was carried.
No. Oops, am I doing my spots? No.
You are right, because cocoa's always been native to South America, for example.
Yes, cocoa was here, coffee was here, tobacco was here, sugar was here. All of that. Yeah. But I know like ackee and even breadfruit, which are huge national fruits here in Jamaica, they were carried over here. They are not indigenous, but cocoa was. Yeah. So yes, I thought that was a lovely way to end this program. Of course, we're going to put up once more this cocoa, because now suddenly I feel like having a cup of it. But I really want to say this is the end of our first. I know. Let's just. I'm talking
about the landscape, not Nanny, but
no, both. Both.
Oh yeah. But,
so yes, incredible story, incredible landscape, like you're saying, incredible country, incredible history. This was our special on Nanny of the Maroons. Like we said, there are 6 more national heroes here in Jamaica, and we will be dealing with them one by one, or maybe 2 by 2. Who knows? We'll come up with that when we come up with that. And we're not saying that next week will be another episode. I don't think we should. I think we should just do it whenever we feel the vibe and have time to do the proper research, because there's so much to tell about all these wonderful people who shaped the Jamaica as you and I know it and love it, right? Yeah. Any idea what we can do next week on our next week Wenzzzday Ting? I even forgot to tell the people that they could join the show, but they didn't. They wouldn't anyway. But the next show will be on next Wednesday, on this 22nd, electricity and Wi-Fi permitting, of course. I don't know yet what we'll be doing, but will you be there, DJ, or do you wish me to do a lonesome one?
Well, yeah, I have no reason not to be there that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. So, We'll see what comes to mind, and we'll be here the same time next week. But before we go, there is one little thing that I would like to ask you. DJ and I put in quite a lot of work and time and effort and energy to make these programs, and we really want to continue doing that. In order to do so, we're just putting up, this is the wrong code, we're just putting up this code that if you wish to buy us a cup of tea, you can do so. You just scan the code and it will take you to an environment where you can be part of the PocaTV live community by donating whatever it is that you can spare. I'm not saying put in your last money. I'm not saying do it every month. Do whatever you can. It would be greatly appreciated.
You probably know, regular viewers, which most of you are, that I can see, will know that this is a labor of love. And Poca herself, on average, spends about a good 10 hours for working and researching and doing the technical stuff to make this happen. I do my part as well, but Poca is the producer. And she decides what goes and what doesn't and how it flows. And editing video clips and just making it all work and come together.
Make it work, yeah.
The little ticker you see and the QR code and the comments.
All of that, the ticket tapes and the pictures you see, and even the logo and the background, all of that is what I do. But you know, it would just be lovely if we could do more of it, is what I'm saying. And in order to do that, we need to be able to justify to ourselves that we put in so much time, DJ, because all this time that I'm working on this, I'm not doing anything else that could, you know, make me a buck. It's as simple as that. And the same goes to you. So whatever's in your heart, whatever's in your bank account, I cannot look into those. But if you feel like you want to contribute to this program, just head over to that QR code. I think next week I'll put up a banner as well for people who find it difficult to scan. I'll put up a little banner that says where the URL will take you, and just donate whatever you can spare. Thank you in advance. I'm seeing another lovely comment from our good friend Rosalind. She said it was nice and she thanks us. Rosalind, thank you for watching. We really love it when you're with us. And we're going to try and keep doing this and hope that you'll be with us again next week. Yes, DJ, that's it, I guess, for today.
Okay.
Yeah, it was lovely. I'll see you next time. I'm going to take a cold bath right now, or maybe just go live in the freezer. I don't know how you're going to spend the rest of your afternoon. Any ideas?
Yeah, but no, I'm not going to. No, yeah.
Don't tell us. Don't tell us.
No, I won't tell you. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah.
Thank you, Poca. Thank you.
Thank you, DJ. I had a lovely time.
Thank you, everyone else.
Lovely time. See you next week, everybody. And be good. No fighting. Too much fighting going on. Be good. Bye, everybody. Bye. PocaTV.